Introducing our newest lineup of Oops All badges! Inside are many flavors all packed into one box. Frog sounds to make some weird giant barf. Alien hammers are not as effective as just walking up and taking in the skull of a Doomba. And if you're lucky, you might get the coveted Wario badge, where you can dress up in those sexy colors that come with a constant smell of garlic wherever you go. Wow! Available now! What the fuck? Hello, and welcome back to another challenge run. This time we are playing the remake of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, but with a twist. In the game, whenever you level up, you are given 3 stats to increase: health points, flower points, and badge points. So, what if we can beat Paper Mario by only upgrading our badge points? And to make things a bit more interesting, I'm not allowed to use items. Any items I get from chests or drops can't be used, and we'll have to sell them to invest into buying more badges. In coupons are an exception because they do save money. I'm only allowed to heal with either the heal block, the in, and the special move Sweet Treat and Feast, and to upgrade my partner's stats. And finally, I have to beat all of the game's secret bosses, and as a optional quest, try to get all 87 badges in the game. Will we succeed and become a literal god, or fail miserably and cry like a little wah wah baby? Let's find out. And of course, subscribe. We start the game and go through the prologue. Peach gets flashbanged by a box, and Mario arrives at Roadport to pick up Peach from the hospital to take her home. But we are suddenly dragged into a scuffle with Best Goomba Goombella against these weirdos who want to shake her down. We beat up their leader Lord Crump, whilst gaining a taste of the game's combat and manage to slip away further into town. We go see Toadsworth and find out that Peach went missing after blindly walking out of the hospital. Probably got lost trying to find the bathroom, so it's Mario's job to find her and get her home. Oh, and Robella will help too, by judging every single person we meet out loud. Now that we are free to explore, let's talk about stats. Mario starts off with 10 HP, 5 FP, and 3 BP. This is a good start for Mario, since most enemies will only hit Mario for 1 damage, but with how low our FP is, we are limited on how many FP moves we can use. As for badge points, we start with only 3 BP, allowing us to equip a max of 3 badges depending on the BP cost, but as we lack any badges to equip at this time, we continue on with the story and see what's next. Whoa! Oh! You just stole my money! Get back here, I want my money back! There you are. Ew. Let's hope nothing else happens in the next 3 seconds. Uh-oh. For a bit of the lulz, instead of paying this Baldi the outrageous price of 20 gold to be allowed passage into the roughest part of town, we decided to fight him. And this fight is pretty easy, despite Dustin's warnings. He has only 2 moves with a charge attack that only hits any character at the front, and a range attack where he throws his spear that can hit both the front and back. If Mario were to lose all of his HP, it's game over without a life mushroom, so to reduce the chances of us losing the first official fight, I have Goombella take the front lines. Okay, Goombella, all you have to do is stand still and take the hits from me. You gotta do a great job. What? With Dust's spear, this does make jumping on him not an option, as if we were to jump on him, we will take damage from the spear instead. I just have Mario hit him with his hammer, while Goombella defends and tanks Dust's attacks. Near the end of the fight, Dust manages to snipe Goombella, only leaving Mario standing, but with a couple more hammer swings, we win the day. There we go. Hey! We get a large amount of star points and mosey our way to see Dr. Frankly. After introductions and showing the professor the map, Frankly tells us to go below Roadport to find the Thousand Year Door, to see if the legends about said door are true. So with Frankly in tow, we headed down the nearby pipe into the underbelly of Roadport. We made our way through the area, killing enemies along the way to get as many star points as possible until we reach the black chest where we get our first cursed ability. We get the airplane curse, where on certain platforms we can fly through the air after contorting our bodies into the shape of an airplane to reach places we normally can't. After using the ability to get across the wide gap, we reach the door and stand on the pedestal to get our first location for the legendary crystal stars, Hooktails Castle and Pesselberg. Oh!
Alright. Woohoo!
Before we head out to Petalburg, Freddy gives us our very first badge, the Power Smash badge, and after saying goodbye, we go back to town to do some shopping in the newly opened badge shop, where we can buy a selection of badges to help us on our journey. And with how pricey they are, I need to choose wisely which I spend my money on. And I decided to buy the Last Stand badge, where Mario will receive half the damage if his health is less than 5 HP. With 2 badges in tow, we head down the pipe on the road port, but I decided to see another important character, and that person is Dazzle. Dazzle traces badges for star pieces that we found throughout the game, and they can be hidden pretty well if you're not so thorough in exploring. Unlike me. But due to lacking in the number of star pieces in my possession, we'll return to Dazzle later, so we head over to the next pipe to take us to Petalburg. But first we got our first official boss to fight.
Can we jump on it? Ouch, that hurt. Wait, is this our first boss? It is. It's our first boss. Alright, let's do this.
As a first boss, there's no trouble. While the main body is up on the ceiling, we need to take down the 2 tentacles in order to get the Bluebird to fall. Now that Goombella can be useful here, she and Mario continuously bonk on the tentacles till they retreat. The Bluebird then tries to taunt us by accusing us of wanting to bite of its tentacle, but we don't fall for it. I finish off the right tentacle quickly with the Power Smash, prompting Bluebird to fall on the ground, leaving himself exposed and giving us a turn to wail on him before he gets up. I hit him with another Power Smash, and when he went for his Squirt AoE, we managed to fully block it, receiving no damage, and in the next turn, we turned this squid to Calamari.
And we got him. Clear bonus. Yeah.
We get 3 coins and 50 coins, and are just 9 away from our first level.
Okay, see ya.
So we proceeded down the pipe to Petalburg, ending the prologue.
Chapter 1 Castle and Dragon.
We enter Petal Meadows and witness a dragon flying into Hooktail's castle. But since we have no way of getting there, we continue right ahead into town. On the way, we get the Close Call badge, a pretty useful badge that when Mario's HP is below 5, enemies will sometimes miss, which will definitely make harder future fights a do or die situation. And after a couple more battles, we finally reach level 2, increasing our BP from 3 to 6. Upon arriving at Petalburg, signing some items we picked up on the way.
Oh, you see? Look at this cat. What the hell is that?
And a bit of exploring and talking to some of the townsfolk.
He has posters and merch displayed everywhere. Boy, get a life, you know what I mean? Hey, Mario, don't tell me you have a secret collection of plush dolls too. I meant to hit Goombella, but I missed.
We go to the Elder to have him tell us we need to get the Sun and Moonstone in order to access the castle. After pointing us to the fortress east of town, we pass the gate and head over to the place to nab us some stones. But Best Boy Coop stopped us to ask for something, but he whistled out, leaving us to go in our merry way. On the way, we get some more tutorials that include the audience in battle, and we hit our first roadblock.
Oh, let's see Rob straight with a crafted face. This mean to apologize. This don't work good for me. Dude, yeah, this guy's rock solid. Already heard it. My best to attack, say a power block.
Really? Well, that's great. Over an hour in this challenge, and I have to break the rules Ice Tellers of not using items. And I don't have to do this once, but twice in the same area. Alright, fine. I go back to town, buy some battle items, and kill the bristles with them so we can move on. And to add salt to the wound, I'd reach level 3, getting 9 badge points. Doesn't feel quite earned with me needing to use items. Hey, so I did some research after and realized I could have gotten the Piercing Hammer badge much earlier than I've gotten it. And for the bristles, I could have used Super Guarding, which I completely forgot about. So I just wrote the no items rule for absolutely no reason. But hey, You can bypass these guys without using items. Just need to backtrack and get really good at super darting. I'm sorry. Thankfully though, the boss we face doesn't require items to beat it. We just need to beat it in a trivia quiz. Woo!
Damn. No, oh, that's right. You correctly answered 5 questions. I don't believe it. You win.
With the trivia rod defeated, he grants us access to the basement where we both find the Sun and Moon Stone. But as we are trying to get the Sunstone, we got an unlucky encounter where these fuzzies featured an item, bringing me down to 1 HP and got killed on the following enemy's turn when I failed to block. But in the next attempt, we got lucky and used the treat to give us some health and HP back, and we managed to beat them, earning us the 2 stones. When we tried to leave though, we get ambushed by this golden fuzzy, and after defeating him once, he tries to bury us and many of his friends. The fuzzy hordes are pretty dangerous due to them being able to hit us multiple times in one turn, so I focused on the golden fuzzy to finish the fight quickly, and with a bonk from Goombella, we managed to beat the fuzzy horde. Back in Petalburg, Cruz approaches us once more, asking us to join Mario and Goombella to Hooktail Castle so he can fight the dragon Hooktail to rescue his dad and help us find the Crystal Star. With Koops being the best boy and having the best character theme in the game, I accept the Koopa with open arms, taking Goombella out of her spot to place him as my main partner. And Koops is the GOAT! As a Koopa, he has an innate +1 in defense, meaning he can tank a lot of attacks to 0 with a successful guard, and with his AoE move and Shell Shield that tanks hits for Mario, Koops is the best character for attack and defense. The only downsides are that he can only hit enemies on the ground and can get stunned, making him immobile for a few turns and becoming vulnerable to take full damage from attacks. But the pros outweigh the cons, and with his upgrades he can be a very reliable partner throughout the game. Sorry Goombella, but you're taking residence on the bench. After Koops' girlfriend is mad at him for leaving her for Mario, we put the stones in the pedestals back where we see the castle and granted access to Hooktail Castle. Not before getting one of the most important badges in this run, the Happy Heart Badge. That will sometimes regain Mario's HP during the battle by 1, and if you add more of the same badge, you can regain more health periodically during the battle. Inside the castle, it may consist of puzzles focusing on Koops' primer and making our way to the top of the tower. In one room, we find a letter from Adult Bones that has Koops' dad's shell, but it's not actually his dad, and they give us a hint about Hooktail's Ranidophobia. And there's a badge that has exactly what we need to defeat said dragon. In the same room, we are attacked by a horde of Adult Bones and get into a mini-boss fight with the leader. This one is pretty dangerous since it's 2v5, but luckily I picked up a multi-bounce badge earlier so I could hit every enemy with a jump, but it actually did hit it. With troops at the front line and the Dull Bones having very little HP, we managed to whittle them down until we managed to get the background to fall on top of us, killing all of the beige Dull Bones, and just leaving us with the Paint leader to finish it off. Even when Paint Bones tries to bring more troops in, Koops that grow quickly gets rid of them, letting Mario deal the killing blow. We move on and get our first Shine Sprite, where if we get 3 of them, we are able to upgrade the stats of our partners, upgrading their health, and more importantly, give them more moves. Further in, we meet another of the black chests, and after getting the key for it in an intense Indiana Jones moment, we give the key to the chest and it gives us a new curse. This time we return from 2D to 1D, allowing us to go between tight spaces, such as these bars, to get the Attack Fraud FX badge, the badge we need to beat Hooktail. Progressing further through the castle and getting another level up, raising up to 12 BP, we are met with the mouse thief, Miss Meows, who likes to steal badges for some reason. She gives Mario a goodbye kiss before taking her leave, but leaves behind a couple of chests for us to plunder. But it was just another mushroom and syrup. But hey, at least another Shine Sprite and free money. Moving on, we continue making our way closer to the tower, and after definitely not starting to get through this one puzzle, getting a Last Stand P in a short puzzle, and another close call badge from a defeated enemy, we finally make it to the top. We are met with Hooktail.
Who dares approach me? Hey Hooktail, you weirdo.
If you were to fight Hooktail normally, it would have probably been more frustrating considering the fact that she has +1 in defense and +5 in attack, but since we have the Fraud badge equipped, she gets progressively weaker as the battle goes on. As for her attacks, Her windups are slow enough to be darted, letting us take damage from her fire breath, and Kroops had completely blocked her claw attack thanks to him being the GOAT. After dealing enough damage, she starts to plead with us to let her live by offering a lot of money and a rare badge in exchange for her life. While it is tempting for us to get more badges, it's obviously a trap, so I refused. Then, she pulls this.
Keep it, you monster. Really? Well, I suppose I could apologize by letting you smell the bones of my feet. Who wrote this? Who in God's name wrote this back in the 2000s when the game came out? Because I don't remember when the game came out. So, care to take a whiff of the rich yet delicate scent of my world-renowned feet? One-time offer. Maybe just a quick sniff? That's disgusting!
After we refuse, she goes off stage and decides to dole up the audience to recover more health, but we finish her off after a few more turns.
Yeah! We got her. But how? Why? There's so much I want to do in my life, so many meals. I only have too much of that, you know? Hey!
With Hotail defeated, Kroops' dad, Kroopley, gets rescued and stored in his shell was the Crystal Star, earning us our first star and a brand new special move, Earth Tremor. We then did a couple scenes of where Peach and Bowser are during Mars adventure. With Peach, she's in captivity by the Etchnauts and starts teaching their supercomputer, Tech, about love, and Bowser going to Roadport to chase after the princess and the Crystal Stars. After that, we're back at Pelipper where Kroops decides to come with us on his journey to become a brave Koopa. I'm so proud of him. Going back to Roadport and back to the big door, we are shown the location of the next Crystal Star, the Bartley Woods. After chatting with Franklin, we find a Luigi who tells us he's on an adventure of his own and has plenty to tell us. Let's listen, shall we?
Sirs, I hesitated. Oh, no. I first wrote a note to myself while I was cooking, then I left.
Thanks, Luigi. Before heading off to Bartley Woods, we do some preparations by upgrading Kroops to rank 1 with a new move, an increase in attack power and health, and nabbing a power jump and piercing hammer badge. After a bit of exploring the town and finding the fast travel room, we find a puny named Punio and follow him into a room to corner them. We explain to Punio about the situation and he tells us about some trouble going on in the Great Tree and asks for our help. We get set that after nabbing the damage dodge badge, another great badge that increases Mario defense by 1 if he does a successful guard, we take the pipe to Bartley Woods.
Chapter 2: The Great Boodly Tree.
Upon entering the woods, we are met with the Shadow Sisters, who are so distracted with the eldest sister being abusive to the absolute queen, Vivian, that we just walk past them and head to the Great Tree, while also testing out the Earth Tremor on these high defense enemies. We get a level up in this encounter, earning us 18 PP, and reach the tree, finding the most important badge in the game, the FP Plus badge, allowing us to increase our max FP by 5, which allows us to use more FP moves. We reach the entrance of the tree, but find an out-of-place door locking us out from entering. Punio says there's a secret entrance that's hidden with no big flashy sign. However, Madame Flora can help us as she's a wind spirit, so our next stop is her manor. After definitely not juggling in the same paper plane puzzle, we get the Quake Hammer badge, a pretty great AoE badge that can deal with the enemies on the ground and ceiling, even to those fucking high defense stone pricks. We head into Madame Flora's mansion and ask for her help, but she won't come out of her room until she gets her necklace back. Now where have I seen that before? Back where the Shadow Sisters are, they finally notice us and we get into our first encounter with them. Now the sisters are all magic users, with spells trouble for us since certain attacks like lightning hit pretty hard, but unlike the lightning item, we can block it. Starting off with an Earth Tremor, we do damage into 3. After the sisters absolutely rail us with their magic spells, Kroops manages to take out Vivian with a Power Shell, and with a Quake Hammer with Mario, Belden falls next, leaving only Marilyn left standing. With a lucky dodge and at sitting hitting Luigi who was trying to give us health.
Oh shit! Luigi, I'm sorry! I was not looking.
Kroops finishes the fight with a strike to Marilyn's gut. Their sisters run away, leaving behind Flora's necklace, which we take back to her, and she officially joins us as another member of our party. Not before giving Mario a big ass kiss.
Here come handsome, don't give you a problem to make you pucker up. Man, Mario's treating all the ladies today. Oh, he's dead.
Flurry is a pretty robust partner. Not only can she blow away any walls, she can also stun enemies with her wind powers and her basic attack pull consists of her body slamming enemies and flattening them with her Badonka taunts. Flurry is a pretty robust partner. Not only can she blow away any hidden walls, she can also stun enemies with her wind powers, and her basic attack pool consists of her body slamming enemies and flattening them with her Badonka taunts, and having an instant move that blows any enemy away. Back at the Great Tree, Flurry helps open the secret entrance, which looks not so secretive, but Punio gets in and opens the door for us to get inside the tree. After meeting some other Punies and being told that the rest, including Punio's sister and the Elder, are locked up by the X-Nauts for not giving them the Crystal Star. So it's up to us to rescue them and get to the star before the Nauts do. After exploring, we found the rest of the Punies and need to get the keys to free them. Luckily, in the Little next room, an X-Naut Grunt has the key to free the Elder, but he gets knocked out by Miss Meows, who greets us once more and gives Mario another kiss in front of Madame Flurry.
Well, don't worry, Mario. Well, don't worry, Mario. I'm not too jealous, but goodness, what shameless flirting. Wow.
After Miss Meows takes her leave, the Grunt wakes up and tasks us, so we just blow them away and take the red key. In the chest left behind is the Ultra Mushroom, which can earn us a whopping 75 coins for selling it at the Great Tree Shop. After freeing the Elder and getting a lecture from her, we take her back to the entrance to hear her give another lecture to the other Punies to help Mario and Punio into rescuing the others and getting the Crystal Star. Not before giving us the Puny Orb to use the Punies to gather at these specific pedestals to go deeper down the tree. With 11 Punies in tow, we go face the rival group, the Jabbies, and as a group of 10 of them to get the blue key to rescue the rest. After rescuing the Punies from the blue cage, we now have a whopping 101 Punies in our disposal, so we can now face the second group of 100 Jabbies.
Oh, Dad. Hey, we did it. Here we go.
Kaboom! Continuing on deeper into the tree, we are tricked by the X-Nauts by gathering all the Punies into a fake pedestal and getting trapped in the cage. Despite being smart enough to create a detour to lure us in, they didn't think to take the orb that would lead them to the Crystal Star. Anyways, we sneaked out the cage and tried to find a way to get the Punies out. And that comes in the form of Super Boots, which you find behind this wall. Not only do the Super Boots give us an attack boost of 1, but we have the Ground Pound move, which we use to free the Punies from the cage, and us to head further down where the Crystal Star is. But Lord Crump gets the best of us and steals the star right under us. And before he makes his escape, he starts a countdown to blow up the tree, so we gotta make it to the entrance before the timer reaches 0. Not before checking the bushes for any goodies, of course. Thankfully, we just had enough time to reach the entrance, and after the Elder verbally bashes Crump into the size of a crumb, we corner Crump to make him deactivate the timer and lead us right into the end chapter boss fight.
Oh dear.
Madness Von Grapple proves to be a pretty tough fight, with +1 in defense. I can deal at most 1 HP per attack, making him rather tanky and making the fight go longer. And Grapple's move pool does make things go slower with its summoning Robo Hands, and its damage is pretty dangerous with dealing a max of 2 HP on Mario with its stop and Earthquake attack. Which said Earthquake attack is ineffective to Story due to her being able to float. For my strategy, I have Mario mainly jump on Grapple, and at one point have Koops give Mario a shell shield to tank Grapple's attacks. And whenever the orbs appear, I make taking them out first priority before continuing to jump on Grapple. I switch between Koops and Flurry to help deal damage until Grapple manages to stun Koops, making me have to switch to Flurry due to him not being able to act. I even tried to use Bella, but
Oh, she's useless.
yeah. At the final start of the fight, with Mario in low health, I use Sweet Treat to get some HP and FP back, and after taking out the arms again one by one, as I missed the multi-bounce attack, I finish off the fight with a spin jump.
Yeah! That's just what we needed.
And I gained another level, earning us 24 badge points. With Crumb's defeat, he and his lackeys retreat and we get the second Crystal Star, giving us a special move, Clock Out. With Bartley Woods and the Punies saved, we return back to what Peach and Bowser have been up to. Peach takes a shower and dances with Tech in his fun minigame, and Bowser does the Mario with the recreation of level 1-1.
Do the Mario! Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go! Do the Mario!
Upon arriving in Petalburg, he mistakes the poster of Peach to be the real thing and gets embarrassed. What a goober. Back to Mario, we head back to Roadport to do some upgrades. During my time in Bartley Woods, I managed to collect 6 Shine Sprites, so I upgraded both Goombella and Flurry and bought a couple more badges. A Pretty Lucky P badge from the Badge Shop and a Pretty Lucky badge from Dazzle. Both badges giving us more chances to dodge enemy attacks. For Goombella's Super Rank, we probably get the most useful and broken attack skill in the game, Multi-Bonk. And for Flurry, we get Lip Lock, where she can drain the HP of enemies to recover her own, which is a pretty good move since we're not using items to heal ourselves. And of course, I can't miss out on another edition of Luigi's Adventure.
Pudding Volcano. Sherry Whiteface Rumble Bump Sweat. Gigantic. The marvelous.
Pay Luigi! Thanks, bro. Back on the Roadport, we find a Happy Heart P badge for our partners and head back to the door to get our next location, Glitzville. Since it's up in the sky, Franklin tells us to go see Don Pianta to get tickets for the blimp to take us to the floating stadium. So we head out to meet with the mob boss. Before we do, however, I go to the Trouble Center to accept the Try to Find Me side quest to get the special card, where we have to go to Hotel Castle, where I can also get a badge I missed during my first visit. I guess I was wrong about being thorough in my exploration. After getting this special card, I headed back to Bartley Woods to do something to redeem myself, and that is to beat the 2 high defense enemies properly, using Super Guard. I practiced Super Guarding with the Battle Master for about 2 minutes, and I thought I was good enough to take on the personal task of redeem myself for my blunder. So I headed back to Bartley Woods to find the Clefs and Bristles. I found a couple of Clefs and used troops to do the beatdown.
Alright, that's one. Okay. Got him. Just gotta hit them one more time. Got him. Got him. Yeah. Woo.
The Bristles are not in Bartley Woods, unfortunately. However, later in Chapter 3, I had to take them on during the tournament, so I'm halfway redeemed for now. Heading back to Roadport, we go to the east side to sneak into the hideout of this gang and pay the leader for information how to meet the Don. Once given, we head west to meet with Don Pianta, who asks us for a favor to hunt down his daughter, Francesca, and his student, Frankie, who fall in love and ran away together to escape from the Pianta family. We accept and track them down to the porch side, where Francesca gives us her tale of their love in her most convincing voice.
What I love about this voice is that it sounds like she's on the verge of crying, just like
After hearing her touching story and being asked not to snitch on them to Don Pianta, I of course snitched on them. But before the Don could send his other dudes to take care of Frankie, the couple arrives to convince the Don to let them go in a passionate speech.
yay, boss.
Yarrr! The Don was so moved that he gave the two his blessings, getting their happy ending. The couple leave, and before we forget, the Don hands us our tickets, and we mosey our way to the blimp to take us to Glitzville.
Chapter 3 of Glitz and Glory.
Upon arriving and trying to post in front of the famous hot dog stand, we enter inside the arena to witness one of Raw Hawk's matches, or as I call them,
Uncle Rock Hawk. Hawk Tua. Laugh. Don't say that again.
we see Hawk Tua holding up the champion belt that displays what looks like the Crystal Star, so the plan is to enter the arena and fight our way to the top to get the belt. We head to Grubba's office and sign up to join the league. We are given our stage name, the Great Gonzalez, and begin at the bottom in the minor league. So begins the rest of Chapter 3, where I have to make my way up all 20 ranks to reach Hawk Tua in back-to-back fights. The first 10 contains the minor leagues, where our first match is against 5 Goombas, and I immediately destroyed him with a quick timer while completing this required task by Grubba in order to move up a rank you get 5 coins for winning. Fucking cheaps. Give me some of the gain of the minor leads, and I proceeded to beat every single one of them. After reaching rank 15, King Koopa tells us about the hot dog stand now serving eggs and recommends we go give it a try, even though I can't eat a hot dog because it counts to use an item. I headed down there regardless just to steal the egg from the poor pitch salesman, but he didn't seem to mind as I go back to the arena to continue fighting with my new child. After we reach rank 13, King Koopa tells us he's going to retire soon and we bid him farewell. Nice knowing him for 20 minutes. At rank 11, we are now at the threshold to reach the minor leagues, and to do that we need to beat the Iron Adonis twins. And that fight... That's a bit of star power too. I might as well practice doing this. Ow. Doesn't go well. After forfeiting being given a participation coin, we need to come up with a plan on how to beat the twins. But like a gift from God, we are given that exact solution. And I had the appropriate reaction for it. Yell. We got the Black Yoshi. I was hoping for a Black Yoshi, holy shit. I named Yoshi Kid Zonata, and in our rematch against the twins, we decimated them. With that win, we reached rank 10, and are now in the major league. After being given 30 bucks by our boss, we meet Hot Tua in the major locker room, discover that the crystal star on the belt is actually fake. After he runs off crying, we get on with climbing up the last 10 ranks. At rank 8, we meet our next opponents who I was happy to see, the Poker Faces. Because here, I can dish out some Super Garden Redemption. Got him? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. Whew, finally. Upon defeating the Bristles, we reached the next level to earn us a total of 27 BP, just to add a cherry on this sweet, sweet cake of redemption. Oh, and that's not all. After reaching rank 8, we get an email from a mysterious fan called X, formerly known as Twitter, who tells us to go to the juice bar to give us a super hammer. This gives us the new ability of the spin hammer, allowing us to break these special yellow blocks. After that, we get another email from X to tell us to go break the block inside the minor league locker room to retrieve something. That something is finding a hidden room containing research documents about the crystal star we are after. But before we can ponder more on it, Jolene storms in and confiscates the paper after giving us a scolding. With all that, we proceed to continue going through the rest of the major league. Upon our next match, our rank test is to get hit at least 5 times, which definitely roughed us up due to one of the Koopas having an earth item. So to finish the fight faster than getting hit 5 times, I use Earth Tremor until only 1 remains, and with a good hammer swing, the last Koopa goes down. But the match isn't over yet, as the Iron Adonis twins suddenly barges in and demands a rematch, with us near death. I start out thinking I could damage them with Koops and Mario's hammer, but nope. The twins take out Koops, and I swap in for Zonata, who appeals to the audience to get some star points, and after a couple of lucky dodges, I use Sweet Treat to recover some health and FP. After Zonata uses Gulp, I successfully superguard the twins twice in one turn, and I use Sweet Treat again to get enough FP to have Zo finish the fight. Alright, we got him. After reaching rank 7, we get another email, but not from our fan X, but from our first hater, who threatens us to stop investing in the hidden places of the arena. But we ignore them and proceeded onward to the next matches. After beating a bunch of fuzzies and reaching rank 6, someone left us a cake, but since this is a no item run, I can't eat it no matter how delicious it looked. So with us going cakeless, we start the rank 5 match against the Magic Koopas. Being a tough fight, we just managed to take them down thanks to Doombella dealing the killing blow to the white Magic Koopa. But like the Adonis twins, another challenger has come to ambush us. This time it's Bowser! Oh fucking hell. Now Bowser is a beast in this fight, opening with a AoE Flame Breath for 3 damage. Then after dealing damage with Mario and doing zilch to Bowser with Zonata, Mario proceeds to poison Mario with his smelly breath. I swap Zo with Doombella in hopes of her doing some damage, which he does, but it's not good enough. So after he butt slams her, I hit Bowser with the Earth Tremor to do 4 damage to him, and swapping Doombella with Flurry. In Bowser's turn, he butt slams on Mario, and makes us unable to jump for a few turns. After the next turn, Mario managed to survive the poison with only 2 HP left, so I swap positions and have Flurry use Appeal to give us enough star points to use Sweet Treat. Thankfully, I managed to get a good amount of HP and FP to carry us on throughout the rest of the fight. Bowser poisons Flurry this time, but she has enough health to take through them. After a body slam from Flurry and a butterfly on Bowser's head, he is now at a low enough health for Mario, with him able to jump again to run up on someone's head, finishing the fight.
Okay, I got him.
Whew! After that match in Region Rank 5, one of the Koopas in the locker room did us a favor and ate the cake for us as to not waste it. What a swell guy. We beat Dust 2.0 in the next fight, and after Region Rank 4, we are sent another email by X, who gives us instructions once more by first telling us to go grab a key in the telephone booth and to go to the storage room to investigate what's inside. Jolene conveniently dismisses the guard who was standing in front of the storage room door, which allows us to go in and find Miss Meows again, who again gives us a parting kiss, making us not curious about kisses. Aww. After getting another email from X to find the switch, we scrounge around and find a charge up P badge before finding said switch, leading us upstairs where we nab another Shine Sprite and a HP plus P badge as well. Down a small hole, we eavesdrop on Grubba and Jolene talking about the fighters disappearing, which includes King Koopa, and we almost get caught but managed to fool Grubba by imitating a burping beetle or whatever. We quickly get out of there and continue on to the last 4 ranks. Our next match was against a bunch of Koopa Bros, and after we won, we reach our next level, getting 30 BP. We get some more hate mail before we proceed to the next match and are presented with another cage which we rotate us with as well. After getting nearly bodied by a couple of chain shots, but got the win through an edge trimmer, we reach rank 2, and after the fight, we see the same Koopa having a tummy ache. Silly Koopa, you didn't have too much cake. Now we are at the second to last fight before we reach Hawk-Tuah, where we face the Koopanator, the #1 ranked fighter in the league. The Koopanator was proven to be quite the formidable foe, but with Toots being the go in defense, offense, and charm, we don't have much trouble with him. I also tried the new Clock Out special move. Ooh! After more exchanging of blows, we finish the fight with a piercing blow, making the Koopanator terminated. Now at rank 1, X sent us another email giving us instructions to find a key behind one of Gonzalez's posters, and head to the locked room upstairs back in the storage room to find out the truth of where the missing fighters are. And we spot Jolene spying on us, making her flee the scene. Without much to do, we proceed to face Hawk-Tuah in the final fight. Upon getting ready for the match, we're taken to an abandoned room and get locked in, just as the match is starting. So after finding a hidden wall and making our escape, we barge through the doors to finally begin our match with Hawk-Tuah.
Battle!
The fight starts off well enough, with Hawk-Tuah getting frozen on the first turn with a lucky hammer strike, giving us a couple of free turns to deal damage to him. Once he's free, he begins to fight, and holy shit can he hit hard with his dive attack, where I tried to super guard but failed. After hitting him some more, he begins his second phase by bringing down the bar and hands it before proceeding to shake it, setting down a bunch of stuff on top of us. Naturally, with Toots being the GOAT, he just tanks every single attack, no matter if he guarded or not, while Mario takes a few hits. After switching to Flurry and using the quick hammer to bring him down, Hawk-Tuah just jumps back up on the bar and sends down more junk on top of us, leading Mario to be in turtle health, but with a Sweet Treat, I managed to recover a decent chunk of health. Hawk-Tuah does a fast double jump on Flurry and Mario, and I switch Flurry with Koops so he can continue being the tank and give Mario a shell shield. And in the next turn, Koops finishes the fight with a shell to the nuts.
Hey! On the style on it. No!
With Hawk-Tuah's defeat, we get the championship belt and are awarded with 100 coins. Not to mention a brand spanking room with a poster of Gonzalez over our bed to watch us while we sleep. Once settled, we hear some whispering coming from the nearby vent, so we go investigate it after X sends us an email telling us to do just that. We eavesdrop on Grubba, talking to himself about the fight and need to deal with Gonzalez. He leaves the room, and we are proceeded to sneak in and loot his cabinet to find out more information about the Crystal Star being used for some sort of machine. Grubba comes in and catches us red-handed, so not to intimidate Grubba, making him run away, making us give chase to the ring. Now cornered, Grubba explains what he's been using the Crystal Star for, and after revealing said machine, he proceeds to power up to the final boss of this chapter, Macho Grubba.
Ooh! Macho Grubba. Hooey! I'm gonna smush you guys into guacamole and snack on your energy too. Here we go.
Grubba is probably one of the toughest bosses in the game so far, with a whopping 60 HP and a multitude of hard-hitting moves and even buffs. He is the highlight of not only this chapter, but this challenge run. We start the fight by giving Mario a shell shield, and Grubba proceeds to give himself a buff that lets him act twice in one turn. After swapping recruits with Zonata, Grubba then buffs his attack, follows it up with a slam attack that breaks the shell. We get frozen the next turn, but only for one turn thankfully, and laid the beatdown on him with Zonata's 5-hit ground pound. Grubba uses a buff to make himself dodge any incoming attack for a couple of turns, so I use an Earth Tremor to deal 5 damage to him, followed by another ground pound. Grubba buffs his attack and hits Zonata with a devastating hit of 7, so I swapped him with Goombella, so I can try and fail to use multi-block on him. I swapped back to Truth with the following turn, where we proceeded to the next phase. Grubba busts his attack for 1 turn and crouch flops on Mario for 7 damage. I put troops in the front lines and built up enough star power to use Sweet Treat, where I have enough to stay alive and able to use some FP. I give Mario another shell shield, which is a good move because Grubba follows up with a attack buff and does a swooping armor attack that knocks Troop off his feet and breaks the shell. I swapped to Zoe and just tried to deal as much damage as possible before Grubba can take down Mario. Thankfully he didn't buff his attack when he did another sweeping strike, letting me heal with Sweet Treat, and in the next turn, Grubba goes for his sweep attack again, but whiffs at hitting Mario thanks to a lucky dodge. Grubba, now at low health, proceeds on to the final phase of the fight. I swap Zoe with Goombella, and the next turn after dodging another sweep, I use Earth Tremor to deal another 5 damage. Thankfully in the next turn, with Mario low health and Grubba spending his turn buffing his turn count, we beat the Macho Man with a spin jump.
Yeah! Whew. Yard. Woo!
With Grubba defeated, we not only get the next Crystal Star, but rescue Prince Mush, the previous champion and younger brother to Jolene, who turns out to be X, secretly exposing Grubba's crimes by using us. We get the next special move, Power Lift, and move on back to Peach and Bowser. Peach does a Metal Gear Solid Light, while Bowser gets yelled at by the Elder Puny. Back with Mario, we say goodbye to Litzville and fly back to Roadport to head back down the underground to get our next map location, Twilight Town. Once we leave Franklin's house, we get a message from Troop's girlfriend, Troopy2, who, I get lonely and I go into Troop's house and I smell that Troop smell. I guess it's your cologne or whatever, but it makes me so sad. Lately the place is starting to smell more like your dad, Trooply. He has his own smell and it's weird. Maybe it's the smell of Coattail's gut. It's disgusting. Oh, you're a weird one. Anyways, we get upgraded by using Shine Sprites reflect to range Zonata up, and use the wings from our Arena Courier to buy a Power Rush, another Happy Flower, a Close Call P, a Super Appeal, and an Ice Smash badge. Before heading down to Twilight Town, I visited the lottery where I managed to win the 4th prize with a Life Mushroom. Just gonna sell that. With some needless backtracking to get access to the pipe leading to Twilight Town, we head down to enter Chapter 4. Not before hearing another story from our dear brother Luigi though.
It was one hot sacrifice, bro. Thank you, Luigi. Very nice story. Chapter 4. For Pates the bell tolls.
Upon arriving, we see that the residents are being turned into Pates by a mysterious prankster taken reside in Creepy Steeple, where the next crystal star is located. So after some talking, we head out to grab the key on the other side of the fallen tree to gain access to the storage room and the shopkeep to loot some items, including a Defense Plus badge and find our next black chest. After finding the key in the cabin, we release the die in the chest to gain our next curse, where we can become a roly-poly to enter spaces where we could have just crouched down. Regardless, with our new ability, we make our way to Creepy Steeple, leveling up to 33 BP and headed down to the well to grab a Tornado Jump badge after clearing a room full of buzzy beetles. Inside the castle itself, we do the steps to unlock another secret boss. But first, we go to talk to the Lonely Boo and go down the hole under the statue to release the other boos inside this chest. If you guess the number of boos that came out of the chest correctly, you're rewarded with the Ultra Shroom, and when you come back up, the boos will try to attack you and kick you out, but if you manage to shake them off enough, you are met with the second secret boss you can encounter in the game, Atomic Boo. Oh, the frames. Here we go. The fight is a pretty short one, as the boss only has 20 HP, but has some pretty deceptive attacks to pay attention to. One attack has him hiding his face for one turn, until the next has him spitting out a bunch of boos, dealing multi-hit damage. After that, I decided to try out Power Lift, and managed to get +2 in attack and 3 in defense. But on Boo's turn, we get immobilized for 2 turns, which makes us lose our buffs before we can move again. Fuck. After a couple more turns, Zonator comes in to finish off the fight with a ground pound. Hey! With the giant Boo defeated, we are awarded with the Lucky Start badge. We continue on exploring the castle, and as we explore, we find another Ice Smash badge, and manage to reach the next level, now having 36 BP. After reaching the top of the tower, we are met with the mastermind behind the pandemic, Dupless, but we're not supposed to know his name yet. Let's play. The fight is pretty much a cakewalk, with Dupless not doing a lot of damage, but when we reach the second phase, he turns into the most powerful being in existence, Mario. But after a couple of turns, we squash the Faker. Got him! With an easy victory, we obtained the Crystal Star, completing Chapter 4. Wait, what? Oh, what's going on here? Yep. Well, looks like we got duped, as Dupless had just stolen our body and left us as a shadow. So we get out Creepy Steeple and head back to Twilight Town, not before seeing the Shadow Sisters again in Set Town, and witness our queen being abused by Beldam, and left with the task of finding the bomb that the old had lost. We reach the outskirts of town before Dupless surprises and tells us that if we can guess his real name, he can give us our body back. And since I had the power of foresight, Oh, god damn it. Will this work? Oh. Well, that didn't work. So we'd run away, after Dupless shows how much Chad energy he possesses, and after witnessing everyone dead at the family table, I walk away dejected and abandoned on the street. Alone, and forever a shadow. Oh hey Vivian. After helping her find a literal bomb, and telling her about our predicament, she decides to help us get our body back and joins our party. Yeah! Vivian is probably the best party member thanks to her moveset consisting of fire attacks that can inflict burns on enemies. The best ailment in the game, and her shadow ability is pretty cool, but it's very situational as it can protect us from force spikes and unblockable AoE attacks. With Queen Vivian with us, we start to find clues on what Dupless' name is by eavesdropping on some pros. After getting the needed info, we head back to Creepy Steeple to go back down the well and get past these annoying guys, while also leveling up and gaining 39 BP. To access this grate, to get us to the other side of the locked door where the trapped boos were. In the next room, we find a parrot just chilling with a few chests, 3 of which contain a Power Plus badge, a key to the locked door, and the letter of the day, P for penis. After eavesdropping on this parrot to reveal Dupless' real name, we leave and head back to Twilight Town using the convenient warp pipe and face Dupless once more. You sneaky dog, you. But I got you this time. Dupiss! Dupiss! What did you just say? Can't be. No. Oh, Jesus. After Dupless' mental breakdown, he runs back to the castle like a little bitch, and we give chase back up to the tower where we face the final boss of this chapter, Dupless and friends. Wait, Vivian! Oh, goddammit. The fight consists of a mirror match against Mario and all of his partners, first with Grumbella, Grumkroots, Flurry, and then Yoshi Kid. For the first couple of turns, we are by ourselves as Vivian leaves after discovering we are actually Mario, but comes back to join us in the fight in the next turn. Vivian lands a burn of Dupless, followed up by a shy attack dropping a button on him, making him dazed for a turn. And in the next turn, Vivian manages to Aura Droombella to death, so troops is brought out. A smoke machine is blown over us, which causes enemy attacks to mostly miss. Vivian lands another punch on Kroops, so make him burn, and then another burn onto Dupless. The rest of the fight goes on, with us exchanging blows, and Vivian reapplying burns onto them to give them additional pain, until eventually at the end of the fight, a Boo randomly gives me a Boo sheet, but immediately the fight ends with one more burn.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？
With Dupless defeated and Mario's body being returned to him, the Ghost Prankster runs away, leaving us with our 4th Crystal Star, earning our next special move, Art Attack. Back to Peach and Bowser. Ted gives Peach a quiz about Lord Rose's plan to take over the world with the demon sealed within the 1,000-year door. And we have another fun Bowser level in the water.
Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario.
Back to Mario. We leave Twilight Town, and before heading back to the door, we get a badge in the Spike Room called the Spike Shield Badge, letting Mario be able to attack spiky enemies without being countered. At the big door, we get our next location on the island of Keyhole Key. And at Frankly's house, he lore dumps on us about the 1,000-year door on both Mario and us, the players. Once that's over, we are let go to upgrade Vivian with some shine sprites I've gotten in Twilight Town and buy some new badges. Power Rush P, Simplifier, Head Rattle, Soft Stomp, and another Strange Stomp for some reason. Since Chapter 4 was so short compared to the rest, I decided to do another side quest where we can get an optional party member. That's right, it's Miss Meows. And after doing her side quest, we get the most important party member in this run. With her steal ability, we will be able to get more badges, new annuls would become God. And before we can find a run to Keyhole Key, we got another tale from Luigi! The lights went green, I stomped the accelerator, and something bad happened. I was in reverse, and the big green one went rocking backwards with me yelling. I crashed to the wall behind me, enough to cut me off midstream. After that, we don't meet Flavio Dickinson, who has a ship we can borrow as captain, but will need a well-experienced navigator to get to the island. And after talking to the barkeep, we are recommended Admiral Bombery. So after sneaking into his house via the chimney, he rightfully berates us, refuses to help us, and promptly kicks us out. We go back to the barkeep, who gives us Bombery's tragic backstory as to why he swore off slaying forever. But not all good things can last. It was a particularly icy winter when it happened. Scarlet fell ill, a virus, a passing cold, blah 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 blah. We get a letter from Bombery's dead wife from the barkeep and uses it to convince the admiral to take up sailing again. Although my life was short, you gave me more than a lifetime's worth of joy. Though you will mourn, I bet that you will. Enough of that. We get Bombery on board and we set sail for Keyhole Key Island. Wait, who's that? Chapter 5. The Key to Pirates. As we reach closer to the island, we get ambushed by some ghosts and get ourselves marooned on Keyhole Key, with Bombery and a familiar looking guy being separated from the crew. The crew had set up camp while I just played Whack-A-Mole with Waka when suddenly the ghosts came back for round 2, but we decided to fight back mano a mano. After extinguishing them, Flavio orders us, the captain he appointed us, to go deeper into the jungle to find the treasure hidden within. We comply because we can't match Pinocchio's Sigma energy, so we head deeper into the woods, find some items to sell, getting a shine sprite, testing out Art Attack, and getting a level up earning us 42 BP. Not before stumbling upon Bombery being surrounded by ghosts. Bombery tells us to run away with the others before he detonates himself, blowing up the entire island.
There goes Hawaii, there goes Hawaii, oh there goes Hawaii, the island is gone, there goes Hawaii.
Nah, not really, but we do go back to rescue the Admiral, not before Four Eyes turns around and gives us this warning. And hey, you, out there looking at the screen, yeah, I'm talking to you. It may be pretty obvious to you who I really am, but no telling Mario or else. Or else what? No idea what he's talking about? Anyways, we go back to rescue Bombery, and after taking out the two spirits, Bombery is saved, but we seem to be too late, as his old bomb body has reached his limit and cannot go any further. His last wish is to have some Nuka-Cola before he dies, and tells us Flavio happens to have one. So we head back to camp, selling my items first, and as captain, demand Dickinson to hand us over the cola, but using his Sigma energy, he demands us to trade it for something as valuable as Nuka-Cola. Fine! I grab a couple coconuts and shove them down his throat before he gives us his coke, and we return to Barmy to give him his last drink. Okay, buddy, wake up. Barmy is revived, and we get him as our final party member. Barmy is a pretty strong party member. His primer mainly involved blowing himself up, and his attacks are the most powerful out of everyone, with his basic attack being able to deal the highest amount of damage, and his bomb squad skill is pretty good for dealing extra damage, if you don't mess up and have one land in front of you. He also has the highest HP out of everyone, making him the tankiest partner, and with his counter ability in his first rank, he will be very important to make sure Mario is kept alive. We reach the dead end to find a large stall rock with a slot that has a shade that looks oddly familiar, so we head back to camp and demand Flavio to give us that red skull. Flavio once again tries to use his Stitchman energy, but it doesn't work this time, as he is peer pressured by everyone else to come with us so we can use his skull on that rock. Back at the dead end, we put the skull inside. After doing a short puzzle using the clue from the song Flavio likes to sing, we do the final step of putting Barmy in an open hole and blowing up the rock to reveal the entrance to the cave. And so Flavio takes his leave, allowing us to delve into Pirate's Grotto. The first half of the dungeon consists of navigating through the cave while dealing with the ghosts of an old pirate crew with the cannons and multiple bombs, collecting shine sprites and avoiding spies from putting holes in our paper bodies until we'd reach the next cursed chest in an old abandoned ship. And also I'd reach our next level, earning us 45 BP. The chest started its spiel, but we stopped him knowing what's going to come. So he gets butthurt and tells us to go get the key from his round spirit, and after dunking its head in a nearby puddle, we unlock the chest to get our next cursed ability, where we once again can contort our body to become a paper boat. Using this new ability, we make our way back to the start to grab this crank and use it to go into the lower depths, and after going through this arduous obstacle involving large waves, we reach the next room, where we need to rescue a stranded ship crew in another puzzle. Once we open the path to help the tow crew off the ship, we see a familiar couple, and they show us the path that leads us to the final boss of this chapter. Four Eyes just so happens to have followed us all the way here, and just hangs back as we prepare ourselves to face the Pirate King, Cortez. Habla, speak! I turn your master to a bone polisher, yo ho 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 ho. Cortez has 3 phases in this fight. The first is him with his 4 weapons, 3 types of swords and a hook, where he will use all of them, so we just focus on hitting the pirate's skull and doing our best to block the attacks. I have Barmy throw some bombs to deal some extra damage, that managed to deal a total of 6. I throw again, but accidentally landed one right in Mario's feet. Uh-oh. Luckily, before the bombs go off, Barmy hits Cortez enough to initiate phase 2, where Cortez has abandoned his weapons and takes on this snake form. I throw another bomb squad, when on his next turn, he charges up for a strong attack, so I swap Barmy with Coops to use Shell Shield, which was a good move, as he uses an AoE attack dealing 8 damage. After Cortez's turn, the bombs explode dealing a total of 10 damage, 6 to his body and 4 to his core. Mario stomps on the core for 8 damage that leads us to the final phase of the fight, where now we have to deal with 5 enemies at once, which includes his 4 weapons. I tried to use Donata to deal with the sword, but he got countered. On Cortez's turn, we get rocked by the swords, so after giving ourselves a sweet treat to get back some FP and surviving the next enemy's turn, I have Donata stomp on Cortez's, but damn it. Thankfully, the stomp causes the background to fall and have the hook get dizzy by the falling pan. In the next turn, I have enough star power to use Art Attack to do a total of 9 damage to each enemy, making the swords fall and lead Cortez to go off the stage and suck the souls of half my audience to recover 50 HP. So I swap with Vivian so she can use her fiery chains to cast fire on everyone and inflict burns on the skull. Thankfully the swords fall, so we just focus on dishing out on Cortez. And with one last jump from Mario, we crack Cortez wide open. Oh, okay. Woohoo! And we reach another level up, letting us reach 48 BP. Despite defeating Cortez, he doesn't die because, Well, he's a ghost, so he kicks us out of the ship after he spits out the crystal star, getting us in this special move, Sweet Feast. So we return to where the lost crew are and blow up a hole in the wall to get us out of here to reunite with Flavio and our crew. But our touching reunion is cut short as Lord Crump reveals himself and attacks us with his giant ship and cannons. With no one else to turn to, Flavio confronts Cortez and pleads for his help to use his ship to fight back against the X-Nauts. Cortez demands for the Red Skull as it was originally his, which Flavio obliges, and with Cortez's ship, we fight back against the X-Nauts and we do a round 2 against Lord Crump and his cronies. Oh, alright, here we go. The fight starts off with a pyramid of goons shielding Crump, so we start by trying to knock it down while Barbary throws some bombs. Once we get rid of the X-Nauts, we focus on attacking Crump till we move to the next phase with the bomb from Barbary. Crump calls for his dudes to come down with the bar and shake the stage to send down forts for some reason. I have Mario focus on attacking the goons, while Barbary is on Crump. Until with a couple of bombs from Barbary, we move to the last phase where after Lord Crump heals himself backstage, he gathers all of his men for one last showdown, but I use Art Attack to wall him up then. After Lord Crump's attack gets him to low health, I use Bomb Squad on the crew before using a Street Treat to recover some health. On Lord Crump's turn, we managed to block and super guard the attack, even getting lucky at blocking the freeze machine before Barbary takes out the X-Nauts with a boosted attack. But in the next turn, Mickey and Barrett tomorrow deals with them a super hammer and Barbary finishes out the fight with an explosion. Wah! X-Nauts retreat as we transition to where Peach and Bowser are up to. Peach does another stealth mission, where instead of disguising, she has to make an invisibility potion to get access into Gross' room, which involves a puzzle on how to concoct said potion, which I did successfully on my first try because I'm that epic. Oh my god, I did it. Oh, god. This is so weird. We sneak into Gross' room, get the data disk, to send it to tech, and leave, not before turning back to normal. And with Bowser, well... Uh-oh. Not your smartest move, Bowser, I have to say. Back with Mario, we head back to Roadport on Cortez's ship. Before heading back to the door, we get another Luigi story to listen to. Brass! With our new skills, we explore Roadport to let some more goodies, such as the HP Drain and Double Dip badge, and find some more badges like the Super Appeal P, Fire Drive, HP Drain, and Damage Dodge P. Checking on my badge list, I find out at this point we have 53 badges, just over halfway through the entire list, so we're already good at getting every badge in the game. After upgrading Bovary to rank 1 with his new counter skill, we head underground to discover that it's now surrounded by Bowser's goons, making it more dangerous than it is now. During our exploration, I found a secret room with 3 Shine Sprites and a Defense Plus badge P. I can't get the 3rd Shine Sprite due to it being so high up, but I'll be getting a special ability that will get us that Shine Sprite soon. And during that time, I unlocked the Stats Editing Wizard, who can edit my 3 stats by using one to increase another. So I made the hard decision to use my HP to increase my BP by 3. Leaving me with only 5 HP. Well, coupled with a HP plus badge, leaving me at 10. After all that, we headed back to the door and obtained our next location, the Access Express. In another conversation with Frankly, he tells us to see Don Pianta again. So we take our leave, but go back underground to do something I've been wanting to do now that we have a full party. And that is to take on the Pit of 100 Trials. I was expecting this to be quite easy, just going down floor and floor until I reach the 100th floor and get the badge rewarded for beating the boss at the bottom. That first attempt took me 3 hours and 45 minutes. So, what happened during this attempt? Well, the first floors mainly consist of low-level enemies that I could handle no problem. Reaching the 10th floor, where in the chest, we get a Sleepy Stomp badge, and I continue on down deeper and deeper. It wouldn't be until in one floor, we encounter a mover puny who, for a price, can move us down deeper or return us to the entrance. Since I've been getting a lot of money as I go down deeper, I just had the mover take me down 5 floors every time I see him. On floor 20, I get another fire drive badge, and here we start to encounter some tougher enemies, but not problematic enough until we go deep enough to get enemies who give out more star points, but like before, they're pretty manageable thanks to my full party. It wasn't until we get to the later enemies who won't show up until much later in the game, where things get dicey. Enemies dealing more damage, while we can't dish out enough damage to finish the fights quickly. This has to be come up with a strategy, relying on getting as many star points as I can for special moves to deal damage with Earth Tremor and Art Attack, while using Sweet Treat to get as much HP and FP I could. With many close calls and just winning by skin or teeth, unfortunately, in one encounter, just at the last moment, the unexpected happened. At first, I thought it was fucking Jover. But then immediately, I saw that you can try the fight again without having to go all the way back down to the point where I died. This would be a curse in disguise, as now I can just retry the harder fights, but struggle to find the best strategy that gets me through to the next floor. For the majority of the second half of the trials, I found that partners like Vivian and Bombery really showcase how they are the literal GOAT for late game. Bombery has very high HP and has the strongest attack stat, making him a reliable tank and pure damage dealer, while Vivian is the best dealing AoE and aimlet damage thanks to her fiery janks and burn that can cause massive amounts of damage to multiple enemies. However, due to how costly her magic is, it makes her use limited if the enemy or boss has a high HP pool. After 3 hours of dying, a big brain thinking on bypassing the toughest enemies I've had to face and collecting a Pity Flower and Lucky Day badge, we've arrived at the 100th floor. We finally faced the boss of the pit, Bonetail. Okay, you bony bitch, do your worst. And I get destroyed. Upon the rematch against Bonetail, after looking online on how to effectively deal with the boss, it took me over 30 painful minutes. So, what did I have to endure during this fight? Well, no. I kind of trapped myself in this fight, as if I were to try again with the fight, I would not be able to change my badges, so I had to work with what I've got. Else I'd like to return to my last save and lose all of my progress. So the strategy in this fight is to have Flora in the party so she can use Lip Block to deal piercing damage and heal herself, and have the start of the fight using Power Lift to buff her attack and defense, and dealing as much damage as possible while blocking attacks and staying healed up. Bonetail has 200 HP, and her moveset is the same as Hooktail's, with a stomp and quick chomp at the front, a breath attack that deals 7 HP on everyone, and can even cause ailments if not guarded. Since Bonetail hits hard, it becomes a balancing act of staying alive, gathering stars, and dealing decent damage while praying to the Iron Gods for the close calls and Lucky Day badges to kick in when needed. As I go on, I switch around some partners, only losing Vivian deep within the fight, but she managed to deal some decent damage until near the end. Bonetail pulls the bullshit and it heals themselves 40 HP, so now I have to deal a total of 240 HP to her, if it wasn't too much already. After much deliberation and many close calls, Madame Flurry clutches the win with one last kiss. Oh my fucking god! The fucking dance, With Bonetail dead again, we get the return postage badge and quickly get the fuck out of there back to the entrance. During that entire ordeal, we've managed to go from level 16 to level 24. Yes, in 3 hours, I've gained 8 levels and gained a total of 75 BP, so I have a lot of badges I can use to create a pretty powerful build. With my new build and a sense of accomplishment for beating the pit in my first attempt, I moved on to visit an old friend. But before that, let's go gambling!
Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Back in Don Pianta's office, we find the old mob boss bedridden due to missing Fred's sister and Frankie. So as Julius asks us to find the newly wedded couple in exchange for tickets to the SS Express. So we sailed back to T Island to ask the couple to come back, but not before having to help them find Francisca's ring and going through this.
You're really doing this, huh? This is what it's called padding, folks.
After that, we find the ring, and the couple rushes back to Roadport to see their daddy once more, witnessing some great drama.
Looks like even Don Pianta, the dawn of all untimely death, can't escape the old age. The time has come, everyone, and you gotta retire. No, it's time, I mean it, and I want you to be my successor, Frankie. What do you say, Frankie? As today you are the new head of the Pinata Syndicate. What?
Edstone gives us the tickets, and once we exit Zonata, it silently explains our plan to go to Poshi Heights, loud enough for Bella to hear, as she eavesdropped on us, and proudly explains she will steal the Crystal Star first. So we hopped onto the Excess Express to begin Chapter 6.
Chapter 6 3 Days of Excess.
Chapter 6 mainly takes place in this train, where we are stuck in for the next 3 days. So on our first day, we get a strange threatening letter that warns us about a sticky, yummy doom. Anyways, we explore around, greeting the foes we're stuck with before stumbling upon a conundrum. Someone has stolen the chef's stew, including its golden cookie pot. What are we going to do? Enter stage right, Detective Prince Pennington. He shows off his detective skills by accusing the only woman in the room for stealing it and just stands there doing nothing instead of following this obvious trail of stew that leads us to one of the cabin rooms. We confront the thief, who is his fruity toad, and after finding the pot in his cabinet, he confesses and apologizes for stealing the stew. Pennington then waltzes in to take all the credit and tells us to come meet him in his room before taking his leave. Upon meeting Pennington, we go full detective mode to find the culprit behind the letter we were given. Ace Defective suspects the rich Ballon family for some reason, so we go pay them a visit. While questioning them, the kid asks for an autograph from the train engineer. We get the autograph. In exchange, the kid gives us a shine sprite for it. Thanks, kid. Back to Pennington. He tells us that the train conductor is asking for our help, so we go over to him, and he tells us he suspects there is a stowaway on board due to having one less blanket than is listed for the guests. So we go to the room next to ours, and after waiting a bit, it's revealed that the cabin is haunted by a ghost toad, who will give us a blanket in exchange for his diary, under one important condition: do not read the diary. So when we get the diary, we immediately read it.
Month X, day X, cloudy. I got on a train today, and on that train, you looked. Even though I told you not to, and see what happens.
We're dead. We give the diary back to the ghost, and after giving us the blanket back, he finally passes on. Except he doesn't, and just decided to stay on the train. You do you, man. We give the blanket back to the conductor and made no progress in our investigation on who sent us that letter, apart from hearing that the waitress is missing her shell earring and the rich toad lady is missing her golden ring. But we retired to bed. The next day, we got another mystery on our hands. This time with this weasel businessman panting over his super important briefcase having been stolen during the night. Said briefcase containing a prototype called the Natural Honey Syrup. The weasel further explains it can become explosive if it were to be mixed with seashells and gold, causing a sticky explosion. Now where have I heard that before? We go to Ziptoad's room to find the document from the briefcase, and after more investigating, we pin our culprit to be Quattro Bagina, who just so happens to be hiding in our room, and after getting the jump on him, we apprehend our syrup thief and would-be syrup terrorist. In the evening, we made a stop at this abandoned station called Riverside Station, due to the drawbridge being up, keeping us from continuing forward to our destination. Meanwhile, Ziptoad turned out to be dupeless, but that doesn't matter, because we got a drawbridge to lower, because of course we do! Now due to us being level 24, we can just one shot at any enemy encounter, so we have no trouble navigating through the station, grabbing a HP plus to increase our health, a PFD down badge, and an upgrade to our boots, the Ultra Boots. These boots not only give us +3 in attack, but gives us the most powerful jump move, the sprint jump, and the ability to jump high and grab onto hanging pipes to multi-bar our way around. After getting the key needed through the Ultra Boots, we head down this elevator that clears jumbo black puff things to access the button to lower the drawbridge. Once all that is done, we head back to bed to move to the final day. Upon waking up, we find the train strangely empty, the shop guy is knocked out, and the only person we find is the engineer at the front of the train. Suddenly we are ambushed by a bunch of those puffy guys from yesterday and have to run all the way to the other side of the train through the carriage car to access the train roofs. After clearing our way through the flood of fuzzies back to the front of the train, we encounter the main boss.
Ikuzo!
On the first phase, the Smart has two forms. A form where it has 3 arms and 1 bid form when all 3 arms are defeated. So in the next turn, I use Vivian to light up the arms to revert it to 1 bid pile so we deal a lot of damage to the main body. Once it gets its arms back, it tries to attack but whiffs every time due to us being covered in fog, so I focus on taking down the arms before the fog disappears. I use Borri's Bond Scroll before switching to Sonata and manage to take out the arms to make it revert to its bid form. Zoe uses her ground pound to deal some good damage, while I try and fail to deal big damage with Sprint Jump. With enough damage, we move on to the second phase, where the Smart conjures up a claw hand that deals massive damage of 10 points, so I try to use Zoe's ground pound, which does nothing, so on Mario's turn, I use Sweet Treat to recover as much health as I can. But that was all for naught, as Claw hits us with full damage due to me not being able to block it. But on the next turn, I switch the troops to use Spin Jump to deal enough damage to make the Claw hand retreat. After a few turns dealing damage and successfully hitting it with a Sprint Jump, I lose the fight when the Claw hand comes back.
Oh.
So in the next attempt, I focused on using Power Lift and Spin Jump more, and then I died again to it even with my defense buffed. Thankfully, I have the strategy down in this last attempt. Starting the fight with Power Lift to buff our attack and defense, I managed to quickly get us back to the second phase with the Claw hand. For this phase, I have troops coming in and use a Power Lift to buff us up again, and thankfully when the Smart attacks, it misses Mario with a lucky dodge. And in our turn, we use Shell Shield and Mario takes out the Claw with a Spin Jump. And the next turn after, we finish off the fight, clearing the Smart and earn us another level of 25, gaining 78 BP.
Yeah! Woo!
We rescue everyone and finally make it to Poshi Heights, where after some exploring and enjoying a night's stay in the town's hotel penthouse, we head for the museum that Pennington just so happens to own. After letting us inside, we find the Shadow Sisters plus Dupless, having already stolen the Crystal Star and flee the scene. But that star on display is a fake, and after finding the pipe to enter the secret area where the actual star is, while also getting us the Luigi emblem that let us become Luigi, we got our second to last Crystal Star, earning us the special move, Showstopper. Onto what Peach and Bowser are doing, Lord Grotus finally catches on what Tech has been up to and intercepts the two's escape plan, leading to Grotus shutting down the supercomputer just before Tech manages to exclaim his love for Peach until the very end.
Oh. Oh, Ted, no.
As for Peach, well, Grotus has plans for her. And with Bowser, he gets news from Cammy that his students have found a secret room containing a crystal star, which turns out to be Heart-Tua's training room, which leads to some pounding on Heart's end. And of course, the star is fake. Again. Upon heading back to Roadport, we did some bad shopping and picked up the Wario emblem, where we did the sexiest trip of the game, while also getting the super important Quick Exchange badge, where we can now switch between partners without costing a turn, and getting the last upgrade to our hammer, the Ultra Hammer, which means this is the last time we'll see Odette. Oh. After some exploring underground with our new abilities and getting the location of our last star, we see that it's located on the moon! After speaking with Frankly, we head back to Hotel's castle, to grab the item to grant us the next tier of partner upgrades, and I increase everyone's rank except for Goombella and Flores due to me not having all the Shine Sprites yet. Chapter 7 Mario shoots the moon. What? Okay, Luigi. Once we're ready, we take the pipe down to the final town, Var Outpost, and go talk to the mayor to let us use our cannon. But we need to speak to two Bob-ombs first, Gold Bob-omb and General White. We first see the Gold Bob-omb to get his permit by giving him all of our money to show how serious we are, but he doesn't take it. Pussy. Now to find the second Bob-omb, General White, we have to go on a scavenger hunt going from town to town to be told, oh, he went here, oh, now he's over there, oh wait, not anymore. But while annoying to do all this backtracking, its purpose is to go back to previous areas we couldn't reach before to grab the extra Shine Sprites and other items we missed before. And through all of that, we actually did find the rest of the Shine Sprites to fully upgrade everyone to the max health, attack, and movesets. With all that backtracking, we ended up back at Var Outpost and break into General White's house to find him sleeping in bed. And so, we need to wake his shiny metal ass up. Wake him up! Wake up, wake up. Wait up, wait up. Okay, even more sleep. Try again. Wait up, wait up. General White finally wakes up. It's time for us to shoot for the moon. And I mean that literally. Oh my god. That was fun. Upon crashing into the moon with no spacesuit like Persona characters, we find the X-Naut's space and begin exploring to find the princess and the crystal star. Going through the puzzles, slowing down the key cards to go deeper into the base, and finding the teleporter room, we find the gear that is used to repair this train device, and after putting some electricity to power it up, we nab ourselves two of the most important badges in the game, the Feeling Fine badges. Both cost you 4 BP each. This badge acts like the ribbon from Final Fantasy, where we are immune to all status ailments, and I'll be keeping this on for the rest of the game. After more exploring and this? What? What the hell? Wow, and after trying out the new special move with not much success, we stumble upon an old friend. That's right, and unlike how I blundered into victory in the first one, I passed with flying colors. Yeah! First try. No! Correct! That was 5 answers, correct answers. Crud, you win! No mistakes. After getting the last key card by interrupting this X-Naut shower time, we put all the cards to their respective screens and go into one last puzzle room, which took ages to reach the final room where we meet our favorite boy failure. Von Grapple is back with some new moves, along with a new addition of drill hands, which she comfortably showcases by flying high in the air and stewing the party. He can also have his drill hands be launched from his body to be sharp rockets, but they have low health so they can easily be defeated. He also has his spinning fan attack that can hit the entire party, but doesn't deal too much damage. And with another trick up his sleeve, he has the ability to suck up the audience from his butt to be used as ammo to those in front, with a 3-shot burst that can deal massive damage if you're not blocking. So, for my strategy, I use Power Lift to buff our party, and mainly use Vivian to deal AoE and burn damage, while Mario uses multi-bounce to quickly deal with the drill rockets, and use Spring Jump to try and fail to deal massive damage. With some back and forth attacks, Power Lifting and Vivian delivering massive burns, we end the fight, turning Crump into a burnt piece of paper.
His hair, whack. His gear, whack. His jewelry, whack. His foot stance, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
Oh! With Crump blasting off to space, we collect the last crystal star, earning us the final special move, Supernova. After we see Bowser traumatizing the Bob-omb Kid and getting duped again and getting a fake crystal star, we return back to the moon base to find that Tech is still alive. He warns us that Grottos is taking Peach past the 1,000-year door and urges us to head back down to Roadport to stop him from awakening the Shadow Queen. And once we escape through the teleporter, Tech self-destructs, taking out the moon base with him. That's so sad. Upon return to Roadport, Franklin urges us to get to the door to rescue Peach, and he runs ahead. But before that, I want to unlock the opportunity to face Prince Mush before we face the final boss of the story. And of course, listen to the final part of Luigi's adventure. This is it, I thought. I can win this. I can risk it all. I can risk it all on my next blow. I gripped my hammer tight and waited for my moment. The tension stunned me. Schwack! The ocean winds raised against the tower windows. With that sound as my call to battle, I advanced with no mercy in my heart. And then... I beat him. I defeated the Chestnut King. An even worse beast came next. A nightmare thing, but I beat too. I rescued Princess Eclair. It was all over. I then came back to Roadport and had a light lunch, and that's about it. You think there's more to the story than that? Not at all. That's it. That's the whole story of the quest of the Princess Eclair. The end. But my adventures won't end here, bro.
They'll never end.
After doing Jolene's request and waiting to do other tasks, it was taking too long, and I didn't want to wait, so we proceeded to the final chapter, unlocking the 1,000-year door and going into the game's final area, the Palace of Shadows. Ooh. It's a door. Chapter 8. The 1,000-Year Door. As a final area, the Palace of Shadows is quite a journey to reaching the final boss. From jumping over fire, avoiding spikes, defeating a horde of admittedly weak enemies, and doing lots and lots of puzzles, it does serve as a good build up to the final fight. During this time, I tested out the Supernova move, which can do a max damage of holy shit, beating that pathetic mini-boss. And after going through the Lupin Room puzzle, we reached the halfway point where we have to complete the Trials of the Tower to unlock the way down further to where Grodus is waiting. But in order to start out the trials, we need to fight a familiar foe.
Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Okay.
Hooktail's older brother, Gloomtail, has the same moveset as his siblings, with his Stinky Breath attack, Quick Bite at the front, and the Sweep attack. But as the fight goes on, Gloomtail will reveal some new, devastating moves, which the first one, a AoE Earthquake attack that can one-hit kill Mario, and a Mega Breath near the end of this fight. In my next attempt, my strategy was to take it, using Power Lift to buff, Sweet Treat to heal, and deal as much damage as I can to Gloomtail. I mainly used Bobbery in my first attempt, but on my next one, I switched to Zoe in hopes of debuffing Gloomtail's attack, which didn't work. After buffing with Power Lift, I used Zoe's Stampede that deals an impressive amount of damage, followed up by a successful Brain Throw to get full star power. In Mario's turn, I have him charge up to deliver a powerful piercing blow to deal 11 HP to Gloomtail. Gloomtail uses his Smelly Breath to reduce Mario's HP to 2 HP, where in my turn, I switch the troops to use Shield. Gloomtail uses his Smelly Breath to reduce Mario's HP to 2, where in my turn, I switch the troops to use Shell Shield to take his Earthquake, which does work, but does knock troops down into a stun, so I switch back to Zoe and healed ourselves using Sweet Feast. I then use a Power Lift to buff and deal as much damage as we can until we reach the final part of the fight where Gloomtail charges for his Mega Breath. I switch Zoe with Vivian to avoid the devastating attack, which thankfully worked, and on Gloomtail's next turn, we successfully did a Lucky Dodge on everyone, giving us enough time to swap Vivian with Zoe, buff, and send Gloomtail to join his family in hell.
This be it? Yeah! I'm the stylish too. Yes you can, bitch.
We did another level up where at this point we reach 87 BP and get the Starstone needed for the tower. After doing the trials and unlocking the deeper parts of the palace, we encounter Beldin's crew once more and have a rematch with the Shadow Sisters plus Freak Sheet. And they are pretty easy, where I began using Vivian to deal burn damage and using Power Lift to buff. I focused on taking out Beldin first, stopped him from using AoE magic. I hit Dupless enough to have him shapeshift into Mario, and have Vivian switch to Zoe to charge up for her next move, but due to me being low health, I had to use Sweet Treat to heal first. After surviving a turn from the sisters, I buff our attack and defense again to have Zonata deliver the devastating Stampede, killing both Dupless and Beldum, leaving only Marilyn alive, and after dodging a devastating attack from the Thick Ghost, we finished the fight.
And she's gone.
Woo! With that out of the way, I want to go back to Roadport to check on the progress on our quest to get Prince Mush. So after backtracking all the way back to the entrance, we get the email from Jolene thanking us for doing her trouble, and wait a bit while getting another HP plus in the casino. We don't get more, so return back to the palace to might as well face the final boss. After doing some puzzles and reaching to our next level before the end, we reach level 29 that earns us a total of 90 BP, and we reach the door that will lead us to Grodus and the final boss. And after preparing our final build, once we're ready, we head in.
Ikuzo!
Grodus proves to be a tough boss, with his drones able to charge his attacks and set up an perpetual shield if 4 are present. And he is a dangerous boss that can deal huge damage, especially with his lightning AoE attacks. For this fight, I buff us up and have Zonata take the front lines to take out the drones, first followed by Mario using a piercing blow to deal huge damage. A good combo I've got down is first to have Zoe charge up then have Mario use Power Lift to further boost our stats, and in the next turn, have Zoe use Stampede to decimate every enemy on the ground. Unfortunately though, Grota sets up a Ripple Flag to dodge the oncoming attacks and bring out more drones to take the hits instead of him. But once Grota's Rebel Flag wore off, both of us is covered in fog, which at least buys us time to heal and build up some star power. But like an idiot, I tried to stampede the drones in the fog, while Grotus just tanks the hits. We do get a pretty lit ground pound on Grotus as we move on to the next phase of the fight, where finally the fog disappears so we can deal damage to the 4 drones with an earth tremor. And with Grotus exposed, Zonata deals the final blow, pounding the robot into scrap. There we go! Nice one, Zonata! But we can't rest yet because Bowser decides to finally show up, and now we have to fight him. Oh shit. Well, here we go. I was pretty worried about Bowser pounding us due to not being full health, especially not having any star power. So I tried to first focus on taking out Cammy and just heal as best as I can. The Lucky Day badge really came in clutch, but dodging a few attacks. Just enough to have Zoe use a charge out Stampede to damage the 2 and even get the Witch frozen solid. Using another Sweet Treat to heal, and Zoe using Dope to damage both Bowser and Cammy, it becomes a back and forth of healing with Mario and attacking with Zoe. Cammy at one point starts buffing and healing herself, so after a couple of failed drops on Bowser and waiting for Cammy's defense to go back down, I finally use Power Lift to buff the 2 of us up and have Zoe use another Stampede. And with the slots, by the gods I thankfully hit the bingo, bringing all of my points to max, and after another Stampede, Cammy finally goes down, leaving Bowser left standing. And it doesn't take long for us to bring Bowser down for the last time. Let's get this. There we go. With that out of the way, we heal and go behind the throne to head down to the altar, and after saving and preparing for the final battle, we face the final main boss of this game, the Shadow Queen. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh damn. Oh my god. Well, he's gone. Reviews this bitch. It was all. The first part of the fight begins with Peach's possessed body. Her moves in the beginning consist of single target lightning strikes, a swarm of hands that deal multi-hit damage to a single party member, and she can buff her attack and defense by 3, making her able to deal 10 HP thanks to her natural 7 attack. Here we just focus on buffing and attacking like usual. However, when the queen uses her buff, I switch from Zoe to Koops to use Shell Slam to pierce her defense, while Mario does the same. I, however, wasn't careful enough with Koops when the hands show up, resulting in Koops staying knocked out, and I switched to Bobbery. After a couple of turns attacking her, we move on to the next phase where she is impenetrable no matter how many times we attack. So to make the fight move on, we just need to attack the queen a few times until the cutscene triggers, whereafter we can now deal damage to her. And with the queen weakened and the hearts of everyone powering the party up to full power, I choked and died deep into the fight. So in my next attempt, I did some adjusting to my build. The Queen has an innate 7 in attack and to pierce damage no matter if you use defense plus badge. The only thing I found that can bypass her piercing attack is this P down D up badge I found earlier, so I'd have Mario take 5 to 6 damage per attack. The Queen also has 150 HP, making her have the second highest HP out of all the bosses, only beaten by Bonetail. So yeah, she's one tough bitch. After revising my badge build, I dive straight back into the fight. We drove through the first and second phase quickly, so now it's time to go all out in this last stretch. I don't focus too much on the hands since they switch up between turns, letting Zoe use Stampede and Bobby focuses on the Queen while Mario uses Jump Spin on her. Whenever the Queen charges with a plus 7 attack buff, I switch to Vivian to use Veil and just hope to tank the hits in the next turn after. As for the hands themselves, there's two types. A left and right hand that can drain the party's HP to heal the Queen, and a hand horde that can either pull one party member under to be hit 3 times for 3 HP each, or charges through the party while hitting the front row 4 times in a row. The Queen also has his breath attack that has a status emblem that stops you from buffing your stats, something that the Feeling Fine badge can't now, so that's annoying. But with all that, we press on. With a blast! With that victory, the day is saved. We rescued Peach, saved the world from darkness, and now we get to return home. But we're not done yet, because we got 2 super bosses to beat. So after the credits and saving to post-game, we returned back to Roadport, expecting an emote from a familiar fighting manager and her younger brother. After the cutscene of us returning and donning the ultimate drip, and upon entering the main plaza, we get the email from Prince Mush wanting to challenge us in an exhibition fight. But before we can fight him, I want to get a badge I missed back in the pit. And after going down to 430, we get the Zap Tap badge, a pretty useful badge that causes enemies to get shot if they attack Mario directly. I thought it'd be pretty good, but Mario could still take damage even with the badge on. But anyways, we head back to Glitz Pits to go face the Prince himself. Give it up for Prince Mush! You ready to brawl? Prince Mush might be one of the strongest bosses in the entire game, much stronger than the Shadow Queen. With 6 in attacks and 6 defense, his moveset consists of fast reactionary attacks to block along with changing stances to dodge certain attacks, able to buff his attacks up to 20 to 24 attack power, and being immune to all ailments and even explosions. Prince Mush is the most formidable and most dangerous boss in the entire game, so my first few attempts were bad. After a few losses and strategizing thanks to the help of some online forums, I've come up with an effective strategy. I lowered my health down to 5 so to buff my attack with my Power Rush badge, and added some badges to help buff my attacks more. Even using Hammer Man to buff my hammer strikes so I can use more powerful form of Piercing Blow, along with giving Mario the ability to charge. Once the fight starts, I use Troops to use Shield Shell and switch to Flurry so she can use Lip Block to pierce his damage and regain her health. With Mario in the back, I have him charge his attacks and keep charging to build it up more, so when the time is right, I can deliver powerful blow after powerful blow. Soon, when he is at half health, he gets into a defensive stance where you can't deal any damage to him at all. The only way to break his stance is to super guard him, leaving him open for a return. I've managed to successfully super guard the first time, and after dealing some damage, Mush regains composure and busts his attack more, meaning he's going to deliver his 4-hit combo that can deal up to around 80 damage. He used the combo on Flurry, where I failed to super guard, resulting in her going down, so I switched to Troops, and on Mush's next turn, he duplicates himself where I have Troops use his AoE attack to take out the face. But Mush manages to knock over troops and duplicate again, so I switch to Bomberman to clear away the fates and tank the hits since he has the highest HP. But I then switch to Vivian due to him being in peril, and have her use Fiery Jinx while Mario builds up his strength. On Mush's turn, I managed to Super Guard the second time and switch to Koops so he didn't use Cell Shield again. But upon Mario's turn,
Woo! Yeah, baby! This was without a doubt, inaudibly, definitely, absolutely, completely an extreme battle of the very highest caliber. There could only be only one winner, and this time it was the Great Gonzalez!
with Prince Mush defeated, we leave the message to hear news about a strange creature at the bottom of the Pit of 100 Trials. So we head back down to make our way from the 50th floor to the bottom to face our final adversary. Along the way, we leveled up to 31, getting 96 badges. And after finding a puny mover close to the very bottom, we fast track down to the bottom and meet the beast.
Baku and Waka, I'm sure you traveled a long way to see me. I was trying to cramp the dark down here, but it's super quiet. Such a relaxing database Bahu. Just sketching, because that means you should not whack them. You understand that, right, Mario? Baku, so why are you here? You wanna play with me? In that case, let's play. Ba-bam.
Yep, that guy I've bond throughout this challenge. Yeah, this is the final boss of Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. And I thought to myself, how could he be much harder than Prince Mush?
And I'm dead.
So not only did I underestimate this Ditto ripoff, I was very unprepared with low star points and not a fully healed party. I've put myself into a disadvantage by taking that Pew's offer down to the bottom. You knew what you were doing.
And I hate you.
Anyways, what happens in the fight? Well, Wata's gimmick is whenever you attack him, he will produce a Wata Bun that comes in two colors, yellow and red, and you either use them to heal himself for 25 health, or use them to huck them over to the party and deal massive damage if hit unguarded. And if he runs low on buns, he will cause an earthquake to make pots fall on his head so he can make more. My fullest strategy at the start was to jump on him, but that gave him more Wata Buns to use to rain down on us like arrows. So, back to the drawing board. From what I've observed and researched, I have my build resolve around delivering as much damage as I can while not hitting Wata multiple times to get him more buns. So I go for a more defensive build while becoming a slippery bitch if my health gets low. My strategy in this attempt is to have Mario build up as much charge and attack as I can, while having my partners build up with star points with super appeal and tank as much damage as I can against Wata's buns, while using Koops to apply Shell Shield on Mario to survive any attacks, as everyone else uses appeal to build up star power quickly to get Sweet Feast.
Let's do this. Whoa! 25. Whoa! Oh, my god.
As it looked as if Wata had me cornered, that final strike was enough to keep him in the ground forever. And best yet, I reached level 32, matching out the badge points in 99 and being awarded with the golden Wata bump. And so ends our journey in this challenge run, officially. This run was pretty great, and I had a wonderful time playing this game. If you want to try this out, I recommend it if you're looking for a challenge, while also doing a lot of experimenting with builds and strategies. And even though I had 78 badges in a total of 86, I feel pretty accomplished to have gathered that many in this playthrough. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and have a good night.